Hello, everyone. Super thrilled to be here today. Listen, tech issues again. So I'm wondering if this is, I don't know, when I go live with someone and they stream, I'm noticing that I get kicked out of Facebook. So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. We're streaming still to YouTube and LinkedIn. I'll post it later. So
do you want me to take mine off?
No,
this is your live stream. So
no, this is ours. This is ours.
Very true. Very true.
This is we're here talking. See, listen, folks are already on here. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. This is what happens when you have to rely on technology, but you're so comfortable with, number one, yourself, the person you're on live with, and the audience that you have in front of you. This is what visibility is all about. You just keep going unless it's something to a detriment. You just keep going and you just keep doing it. And so I am super thrilled. Oh, my pen fell. It's okay. See, all kinds of stuff. Listen, you keep going. I told y'all we was going to be laughing. I knew it because we always do. We always do. So Nishaea, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful, and I'm even more wonderful now that that we're talking. I told you as soon as we got on, like I was ready. So I'm wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you for asking.
Yes.
How are you?
So listen, this is a laid back conversation between two ladies who are entrepreneurs, who are coming from a service centered perspective. With the services that we offer. And so we're chatting. And just so that you all know, one of the things that we're not going to get into too much detail because what goes on behind the scenes, we don't want to talk about too much. It ain't everybody's business. But one of the things we talked about is just creating this holistic approach when it comes to partnering with other people. And really dialing into the people that you want to partner with. And I know, Nishaea, you are someone that I've had my eye on. I know you probably will be thinking, this lady is stalking me. She's always on my page. She's always saying something, XYZ. I will repost something that you have in a minute. I don't care. I'll answer a question, just whatever, because I believe in what you're doing. And when you believe in what somebody is doing, you don't sit on the greatness that you see. Like, for instance, if I see, you post something, I'm a comment. I'm going to like it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to laugh at it, whatever the case may be, because that's how you build relationships. And that's so needed in this day and time when it comes to us trying to expand our territory. Is so key. So absolutely key. So you are the play money coach. Yes. I love that, honey. Play money coach. Not just budgeting your money, okay? But we're going to make sure you got some play money.
Right, which is the whole purpose of the budget, right? Like, people think like, oh my God, I got a budget is the most horrible thing ever. And it's like, no, you need the budget so that you can enjoy your money and do all the other things that you want to do that, everybody says you got to check boxes off. But in between all of those checking the boxes, you also need to be able to live your life, have a great quality of life. And that's what our money is for. It's truly that tool so we can do what we enjoy. And that is truly how the name came up. And I actually had some support from one of the coaches I was working with at the end of last year. And I'm like, money is just fun to me. Like, there's so much positivity and fun that can come with it. And she's like, you lit up when you were just talking about that. And she's like, well, what is the ultimate goal? I'm like, I want people to have play money. She's like, girl, you're the play money.
We lost her. And it was so good. We lost her and it was so good, but that's all right. She's going to come back in. I'm sure she's going to come back in. So we were just talking, Nishaea Richardson, and she was talking about being the play money coach. And we've got her website scrolling down at the bottom. She's the budget guru. And go to her. Listen, reach out to Nishaea, because anybody that lights up over you having the availability to have money to play with, that's a whole different perspective. That's a whole different perspective. That's like goals on top of goals. That's hashtag goals for real. And so when you can have that idea, when you can have that presented to you, and then so Nishaea is back. Girl, I kept on talking about you. I was like, listen, she's gonna come back, go to her page. She's the budget guru. And I was telling them how anytime somebody lights up and wants you to have money to play with, that's completely different. That's goals. That's hashtag goals. Money to play with. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So before the enemy so rudely tried to interrupt you, but we keep going. Tell us, finish telling us about this, how you were lighting up when you were working with your coach at the end of the year and you started lighting up because, you know, they were like, you're the play money coach. So finish telling us about that.
Yeah, because, you know, I was really trying to get clear on like what it was that I was focusing on and the true solution or the problem that I'm helping my clients with. And I know ultimately everyone says, oh, I need a new budget. I want to save. I want to pay off debt. But it's like, why do you want to do those things? And it's usually, oh, so I can have more money to travel, so I can invest more, so I can pay for my kids' stuff, so I can give more, right? All those things, one person may think it's not play, where another one is like, I value this and this is play for me. So ultimately, we want play money to do the things that are important and valuable to us. And I'm like, and when I was talking about the budgeting, the saving, the debt, that's exactly how I felt. And that's how it was being projected. And she's like, and then when I start talking about the travel and the giving and the, you know, my energy changes, she's like, did you notice? And I'm like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, no, your energy completely changed when you started talking about all those other things versus, you know, the typical, oh, you got to save, you got to budget, you got to do all those things. She's like, I think play money coach would be perfect for you. And when she said it, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, you know, that thing of the judgment, the fear, or people gonna like receive this, all that started coming up after I sat with it. And I'm like, no, like, it's cool to be different. It's cool to have a different perspective. I'm going with this. And, you know, the rest is history. So now here we are.
You know, and listen, for somebody, you know, before COVID, we're a little bit more, I'm not going to say restricted, but I don't play out in these streets because I've been sick several times after COVID. So I know before COVID, it was nothing for us to, hey, we want to go to Virginia Beach for the weekend. Hey, we want to go for the week. There was one time, my siblings, my mom, my husband, and I, we decided to go to the beach for a week. While we were there was a storm coming in, so we decided to drive 5 hours to the mountains. So we literally had 2 vacations in 1 week. And so to be able to do things like that, to be able to get up and just go because we had play money.
Yes.
That is so key. That's one of my values. Freedom.
Yep.
Money freedom, time freedom, location freedom. But that money freedom,
it hit different.
It hits different. And it's different when you say, okay, I want money to pay my bills. That's great. That's wonderful. But then what comes after paying the bills?
Right.
You know, I want money to be able to take care of my family. That's great. But what does that really entail?
Right. Right. Because, and I'm glad that you said that, because sometimes that's where we got to start setting boundaries, because that I want to take care of my family sometimes leads to people getting in a space where now their finances are in trouble. because they're trying to take care of everyone else, and they're not setting boundaries, or they're not clear, like you said, on what it is that even looks like for them. Like, do you want to pay for your kids' college and then that's it? Or do you want to fund the wedding and the down payment for the house and have the trust fund and all the other things? So it's
Right.
very important, like you said, to what does that mean for them? Because it's going to look differently for everyone. And it's when we know what it looks like, then it's easy for us to plan for it. So that when we have the play money, then we can be intentional about the way that we're using it. So that's good.
And then also, and I'm just being honest, y'all. I'm thinking about my own self. I'm literally thinking about my own self, my own family, and my own desire, my heart's desire in some of the things. And I know my husband and I, one of our desires, our values is to leave an inheritance. And the thing about that is, it's not just the money aspect. I don't want to listen. I'm gonna get back to what I was just saying, but I saw this thing in these social media streets, and it was real. But a lady, I think she was in the UK somewhere. No, I'm sorry, she was in maybe China or somewhere like that. She was upset with her kids. She was like 80 something years old. You know what I'm talking about? She was upset with her kids because they didn't come and see her and visit her and take care of her when she was old. So she changed her will for when she died, that her pets and her pets kids, pets, whatever, when their pets had babies, they would get $2.8 million. $2.8 million, and you now let's be honest, $2.8 million in this day and time is not a lot of money when you think of it in perspective of how far can it go. However, when you're talking about pets, so
Right.
now you've got a veterinarian who is in charge of that estate, and then has to make sure the pets are taken care of. And then if the pets have babies, then those babies have. So she made sure, she said, for the entirety of their lineage, basically.
I can't. But
We got to do better. We got to do better.
it's so funny to me. But I mean, I kind of don't blame her, but it's like, dang, you couldn't have given it to somebody else. Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems
Like
crazy.
pets.
But right, like what? Well, I mean, I have two cats. One of them annoys my whole life, so you know, they definitely won't be getting any of my money. But at the same time, I've seen where now pets are like people's children. Like they really like love them that way, and I'm just not that person. I don't get it. Um, but uh, to each his own, right? I don't know.
So I had to shake my head and walk away from that. I had to put my phone down and walk away. I did. I came back upstairs. I said I can't with that.
Yeah.
But what I was talking about as far as the inheritance, which jogged my memory on that, is that you know our child, sometimes my country comes out and I have no control over it. It like just like bursts through, almost like and I'm not talking about anybody with Tourette's or anything like that, but it's like it just comes through like, oh, I got you now. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
You ain't got no control.
None. So, our idea of leaving an inheritance, it also encapsulates the financial knowledge and wisdom of it all. And I know you teach that very deeply.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think it's a huge difference when you talk about somebody that is, like you said, we're not just looking at the budget,
Mm-hmm.
because the budget can help you get out of certain situations for a period of time. But you
Mm-hmm.
can get right back in it if you don't have the education and the knowledge and the wisdom behind it. You
Yep.
get back in the same situation in 365 days time,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes shorter than that. But when it
Right.
comes to that knowledge and that wisdom, that's what I see you have been bringing to the table. And that's what absolutely helps that play money idea, changing that mindset. But then also, um, if you want to have that inheritance that you want to leave of not just the money, but now how do you take care of this money and how do you multiply this money?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's the big thing, because a lot of times you'll hear people say, "Oh, I'll just make more." But then when they get more, they do the same thing they did before. So more money doesn't change that behavior, or if you don't have the skills to manage it and the shift in mindset of thinking like long term, that legacy planning, that, estate planning, that whatever that is for you, right? Or that person. Because again, it's going to be different for all of us, but to think like, oh, I'll just make, another $100,000 and then it'll allow me to shop more. Well, no, no, it don't work that way. Like, yes, you can shop. No one is saying you can't shop. But again, you have to be intentional, like set an amount, like set a budget for how much you want to shop, because you still have other things that are important to you. And I see that that's where people get into trouble, because they're thinking the more I make, then the more freedom I'll have, and then it'll just be all good. And it's just not the case.
it's not. You have to have that education to go along with it. I
Mm-hmm.
remember during the Christmas season, I remember you had asked a question of how much money, and it was a very bold question. And I was like, that's my girl. Because people need to ask the right questions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you ask, how much are you all spending for Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
And I just, we don't spend any money for Christmas. That's just a thing that we've decided to do some years ago. But what that does look like is throughout the year, we've got 3 girls. Throughout the
Mm-hmm.
year, those girls get things. They get, different, whatever it is. And
Yeah.
so it's not relegated to just one day out of the year
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's stressed out because, oh, I didn't want this, or oh, I didn't want that. Because we did see, gifts sitting on, off to the side shortly thereafter, same day, and never to be picked up again. So, we had to look at things differently and say, okay, what are we spending money on?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
after that, we decided we'll go places instead.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have time away with family. So I loved that. I love how you bring out the different um mindset shifts in a way that it's not abrasive, and I'm not wagging my finger at you. I'm just saying, hey, let's think about this in a different way. So I really,
Mm-hmm.
really love that about what I see on your page. Now
Well,
you cut up on here, but it listen.
well,
I love it.
you got to cut up a little bit, or else people are just like, yeah, yeah, she just talking about money again. It's like, no, we're gonna
Yep.
talk about money, like, don't,
Yeah.
because when you sugarcoat things, or you try to, and I'm not a confrontational person, and I'm not that. What is the word that people say? Where you say certain things to create like almost like chaos, not chaos, but like you get people going. I can't think of the word I'm trying to come up with.
I know what you're talking
um
about. I just heard somebody talking about it today. I know exactly what you're talking about.
and I don't do it for that reason, but I find that even when I'm working to not do that, it happens anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, whatever, I'll just say what I have to say, because that's the other thing too, is sometimes I know for me, I'll work to filter myself so that it doesn't come off a certain way. And then I got to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna say what I have to say. Like, this is me. If you don't know my intention behind it, or you don't understand, who I am and my integrity, my characteristics, whatever, like, that's fine. You don't belong here. My people who know how I mean it, or how I intend for it to be delivered, they get it, right? And a lot of times I'm serious, and people will laugh because they think I'm trying to be funny, and I'm, I'm like, no. How much do you spend on Christmas? Like, and I think it's more so funny because it's almost like, ouch, ooh, you hit something. So now it's that nervous laugh or whatever. I gotta laugh it off because I don't want to go there yet. I'm gonna just laugh it off and keep it moving. So yeah, I actually have fun doing that. So
We can tell. We can tell. And just kind of, I wanted to commend you on that, because from my perspective as a strategist, when I look at excuse me, your messaging and your content, it is always spot on, because and I know sometimes people think, well, excuse me, excuse me, I know a lot of times people think, well, it depends on um how people are reacting to what they see or whatever. But I see you connecting with people. That in and of itself lets me know that you have really dialed into your ideal audience. And so I really wanted to commend you on that, because that's the key right there. That's
mm-hmm.
the key, when it comes to visibility. And so that's one of the things that I've really been focused on, helping people to understand. Just like you were saying, people think, well, I just need to make more money so that I can spend more money. The flip side of when I'm talking to people when it comes to visibility is, okay, what is the problem that you're having? And then they'll say something to the effect of, well, nobody's really responding to my content. And so I'll
Mm.
ask them, well, what do you need to do? And guess what their response is? I need to
Post more.
post more. What? Like, what do you need? Your data or your lack of data says that it's not working. So why would you do more of what's not working?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That
Well,
is like,
yeah. Yeah, but that comes from, depending on what communities they've been in, or, there's a million different messages on social media on the proper way to social media. And it's like, it works differently for everyone. Like, every strategy is not going to work the same for every person. But to your point, it's not working. So clearly, either your message is off, or you got the wrong people on your timeline. But it ain't the fact that you're not posting enough. Like, because if
I
you
mean, and
post,
I'm like,
yeah.
it is so consistent. When I ask that, it is like almost scary. Like, I know at one point I was like, Ashton Kutcher? Am I being pranked? I'm in the Twilight Zone. I have to be. I must be in the Twilight Zone. Because why would you do more of something that's already not working?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being an introvert, I get it. I get it. We don't, there's just certain things that we just don't want to have to do, but there's so many things, like you said, there's things that we can do that works for us specifically, that can help us move the needle. And I wanted to bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
um I've seen over the last few days where people are saying, um, don't be an introvert. Stop being an introvert. Stop labeling yourself as an introvert. Like, I'm sorry, how do you do that? I've seen
Right.
people label, like, lump introvert personality or introvertism, however you say, introversion, with things like ADHD, um, antisocial. And I'm like, do you understand that introvert, that is a personality trait? ADHD, antisocial, those are disorders. They're two totally different things. And you're lumping it all together.
Right.
No, you don't. What?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. But I think, the other side of that is sometimes people will use being an introvert as an excuse as to why they don't want to go live, or why, they don't want to talk to whoever or whatever. Like you said, it's different things. Like being introverted doesn't necessarily mean that you're afraid of being on camera. Like I could go live in a second, but when I turn that live off, baby, I'm in that bed. I don't want to be bothered. Like,
gotta get you back to normal. Got to get it back,
yes.
get your energy back. Oh my goodness.
So it's,
Oh my goodness.
I don't like that people use that either, for it. Yeah, one has nothing
One
to
way
do with you.
from one extreme to the other. And that's,
Mhm.
I mean, I talked to somebody one time and they said, and I asked them, I said, what would help you with the issue that you're having? And they said, if I could just get somebody to do all of the behind the scenes work.
Hmm.
So you don't want to talk to the people at all? Not,
Right.
you just want to have clients right there.
How do you even know if you like them or if they're a good fit, and vice versa, if you never have a conversation with them? That wouldn't work. Because now you got a whole bunch of people in your program or whatever who are not a good fit because you've had someone else do all this other work for you, and then you can't vibe with them, you can't do anything with them, and then they wasted their money and you're wasting your time.
I was just like, just really blown away. But I actually heard that from a couple of different people, and I'm like, you're on the other end of this introvert thing. That's, we got to work on that. We got to work on that, because there's some things that you're going to have to do if you plan to be in business effectively and efficiently. There's some things that you have to be able to do. Now, there are some workarounds, but not connecting with your audience is a detriment to the business. So I just found that very interesting that, these are different things that people are saying. And so one of the things that I have done for this is I've got a 5-day challenge coming up that I'm
That's
super
awesome.
excited about. And in this challenge, thank you. In this challenge, you're going to get strategies and tools every single day. This is coaching 5 days. 5 days. This is coaching, because I will be on live answering questions and things of that nature, but you got work to do. So if you're interested, those that are listening, if you're interested, I've got the website, the link scrolling at the bottom. Go to my website, gobegreatcoaching.com. You'll see the tab over, excuse me, at the top, 5-day sprint, free 5-day sprint. And listen, we need to get your visibility up in order for you to connect with your ideal audience. Because if you don't, that feast or famine cycle, you're not going to be able to go to the Play Money Coach. You're not going to be able to do that if you don't get out of the feast or famine cycle, because you're not going to know. And let me say this, even with the best budgeting, the feast or famine cycle can still absolutely 100% cause you to spiral.
Yep.
Even with the best budgeting.
Yep. Because because I think sometimes people don't think about the famine period, and they focus more on the feast. So it's like, oh, this is what I have coming in now. I got 10K, I got 20K a month. This is what I'm doing. Like it's great. And then they don't remember, oh, last year the summer months were low. So I had a quarter where I didn't really have, that consistent income coming in. Or, things change, contracts end, that type of stuff. And they don't remember, wait a minute, let me put some away. So when I'm in that famine space, I can still maintain as if there's still feast, there's excess, right? And
Yeah.
not feel like, oh, now I'm in a space where I am nervous. I got to get a client, and now you're doing crazy stuff just to get a client when you could have prepared during that feast period. So yes, you are spot on, because it is no fun when you're spending it all just as quick as it comes in, and then when you need it, you're then saying like, oh, I guess I should have saved, huh? Oh yeah, or done something different, like, or not lived at the top of your big
Right.
income month, so that you do have money left over, versus living at the top, and then when you don't have all of that income, now you're stressed because you're living off of 10K every month when you could be living off of 5. So
Exactly. And the thing about it is, in addition to that money not being there, guess what else happens? A part of that spiral is the feelings of failure, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, all kinds of stuff begins to trigger that. I mean, it is, when I say it is a spiral, it is literally a spiral.
Yeah.
And so these are kinds of things we have to get out of. And again, this is why I wanted to create this holistic approach to connecting those of us together, that once you're out of that feast or famine cycle, once you have your constant clients, your consistent clients, and you are at a level where, the money, the cash flow is there, please go see Nishaea.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
Yeah, because I
yeah.
feel like a lot of us are, I don't would say a lot of us, but many people are reactive instead of being proactive. And it's always when it gets bad, that's when they start looking for solutions. Well, now you're in a space that you're really probably not even making the best decisions, because like you said, you're in that spiral stage. And now you're thinking like, oh, I need this money, or, whatever the situation is. It may not even be a money thing. It may be something else that you could have done, prevented from happening had you been proactive with it. And, I still work a full-time job, and in my job, there's rules, there's regulations, there's policies, there's deadlines. And you will see that people don't move until they see it's too late. And then now they're trying to do everything possible to correct the situation. And it's like, you missed that deadline and you had plenty of time to do it, but now it's too late. And now you're upset at me or whatever. Right. So I find that that's what ends up happening. It's like, ooh, now I have so much debt that is out of control and I'm stressed out. Well, what we could have done is, when you saw you were at 10K, you could have said, hold up, let me get help. Now you're at 50K. You're like, oh my goodness, this is taking over my life. So yes, like, and then there's a lot of spiral that happens with that, right? The shame, the guilt, now you're mad at everyone, you're resentful, you're bitter, everything. So it truly impacts everything in our life when we are in that reactive state. And that just doesn't apply to money. It applies to everything that we have going on. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I love how you brought out just the whole, even whether it's the workplace, is business, it's, finances, personal life, whatever it is, when you bump up against those deadlines like that, and that translates over even into when it's time to really be visible, when it's time to roll the sales out, that procrastination is there for a reason. You are at when the procrastination kicks in, I tell people this all the time. When that procrastination kicks in, when you're bumping up against those deadlines, that means there is something in your brain saying, I don't want to do this. And this is why. And we've got to be able to really dial into all of that, because that's what is absolutely 100% hindering us, whether it's like I said, the visibility piece, the money piece, the whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. And so we are in that reactionary mode. So it's time to get out of that.
So
So
let me
I have,
can I ask you a question
yeah.
regarding the procrastination and the thing that pops up in your mind that says, I don't want to do this. Now, if you find that the people that you're working with, they have that constantly coming up for them, do you see that as a sign that maybe this is out of alignment with what you really want, or do you see it as just them self-sabotaging the thing that they truly want? What are your
So
thoughts?
it really depends. It depends on how often it's coming up, and we dial into why it's coming up,
Mm,
because there's certain reasons: fight, flight, or freeze. And so
right.
we look at, well, which one of these is it that's causing this procrastination to come up? If it's whichever one it is, when we dial into it, if we are able to use those tools to say, okay, so this is what it is, this is what I need to do to get past it, then 9 times out of 10 we're okay. I've had,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, out of all the time that I have been coaching, I've only had um one person who procrastinated to the point where I was like, I can't do this.
Mm,
Because
mm,
even though I'm not married to my ideal client's outcome,
yeah.
I still need to see some type of movement. And so if you're procrastinating to a degree where it's just like so bad, and all of the tools that we're using, you're fighting up against them, then you're not ready for the solution. And that's really what
Mm,
it is. Because
yeah.
you run into people who say, I am um solution seeking, but they're really not.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
They say it, but they're really not. They want to be um they want to be in that environment, but they're not really to tackle it head on. And
yeah.
so you've got to be willing to do the work. And when you're willing to do the work and move past, and it's really what I tell people, it's like having, so when it comes to stuff like procrastination and things like that, your brain, there's one of two things happening. You're either in survival mode or you're in executive mode. Executive mode means you're making the decisions, you're making the right decisions, you're moving forward. That survival mode is that fight, flight, or freeze.
Mm-hmm,
And so that procrastination lets us know that you're in survival mode. Why are you in survival mode?
right.
What's happening? What's
Right.
going on?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
unfortunately, lots of people deal with it, but
Yeah.
they think it's, oh, I just, I work better under pressure. No, you're procrastinating. You're procrastinating. There's a reason why. It's too hard. It's too heavy. You're not confident in yourself. You don't value it. There's reasons why. So there's a lot that goes into that. So it would have to be, I would have to sit and talk through and see what exactly is going on here.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
love that. Doing that deep work. Because, a lot of
Yeah,
times it's not the surface stuff. Like, we got to go deep. So I love that. Yeah. It's going to be different
yeah,
for all of us.
exactly. And there's no one size fits all.
Mm-mm.
Now the outcome, it should be one size fits all, which is you move out of it.
Yep.
But like you said, that deep work, everybody is different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, Susie may be procrastinating because she just does not feel like this is important at all.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then Susie needs to go ahead and exit the program.
Yep. Right. Because she's taking up space.
And all
Hands
money
on it.
ain't good money.
Yep.
I don't want your money just, because then you're going to come back later talking about, well, your program didn't work. It worked. You
Mm-hmm.
just didn't do the work.
Yep. It worked for everybody else
So,
that was in here.
yes.
How is you different?
So
Yeah.
yeah, but that's a really good question though. That's a really, really good question. Um, but yeah, that one thing, that's something that I've heard, and this is stuff that I have worked with people on this for so many years, especially having been in corporate America in high level leadership, overseeing multiple departments. Why are you procrastinating? Why are you feeling like you have to work better under pressure? Come on, we got to get out of that. We got to get out of that. That's a learned behavior.
Yep. And it feels so much better when you're not under that pressure. Like
Yes.
It's normal when you do it all the time, but that one time you actually get it done way before the deadline and you got all this, or whatever. It's just like, ooh, this feels good.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like, you get right back in that space where now you're in chaos. You're down to the last wire, and oh my goodness. And it's like, but don't you remember how good it felt that last time you did it, and you gave yourself a lot of time, and you planned and you got it done. But yeah, it truly does feel a lot better, because I used to be that way. I ain't gonna lie, I used to be that way.
Yeah.
Wait till the last minute, and I remember back in the college days where you had until 11:59 p.m. and just your luck, you get it done at 11:40 and something happened and it just deletes and you like
yep.
But it's like, I had 2 months to get this done. Like, so you almost do it to yourself. It's like you put yourself in that crazy space, but it's not a fun place to be in.
And that's one of the things that, I'm really dialing into in this visibility sprint, because you are creating systems so that you don't have to do that. And it's taken me months to be able to get to having this event, because there's so much work behind the scenes. But because the work has been done, because it's efficiency, because it's not the procrastination and all that other stuff, it is now I am at ease. Even though I think most people in this situation would be like, oh my goodness, pulling their hair out and everything. Honey, I just woke up just before I got on this live. I was not getting ready to lie to you.
Like, you ain't gonna be stressing me out. I just woke up from my nap, girl. Like,
I mean, really. But that's the thing. That's the thing. We have to have systems and things in place, and we have to deal with the mindset. I will deal with my mindset in a minute. Like, because I have historically been one of those people that, like you said, I would wait to the last minute. Oh, I work better under pressure. No, I don't.
Right.
What's happening? And so having accountability also is very helpful. So if there's something that I know I'm actively procrastinating on, I'll go and tell my husband, hey, listen, I'm supposed to be doing this, but I'm procrastinating, and this is why. So I actually walk what I talk.
Yeah.
Because there's power in speaking those things out loud so that they don't grip you on the inside. And that's one of the things, being an introvert, when it comes to visibility, having community. Oh my goodness, because we have that self-talk that can come and just grip us and try to stop us, hinder us, keep us stagnant and not moving forward.
This is very important.
See, I can sit here and talk with you all day. I can't do this. I'm not gonna talk with you all night, Nishaea.
Okay,
I'm not gonna do
but that's okay, because I got another meeting after anyway, so I'll shut up tonight. But
oh my goodness, this was so good, so good.
Well, I'm excited for your challenge. That's going to be exciting. And like you said, community. So, you find people doing that challenge, and then you got accountability partners and new friends. And I'm excited.
Thank you. Absolutely. 100%. So for those of you that, you really need to dial into your visibility, your sales, you need more sales in your business, you want that cash flow, go be greatcoaching.com. Let's get it. Doors open in February. We start the sprint on February 19th. So doors open. That's on a Monday that we started. Doors open that Friday before. We're going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 5 days. 5 full days. And so I am super excited about it. And I don't think I've been this excited about something that I was doing in a very long time. So
Ooh, this is
I
gonna be
know.
good.
Yes. So any last words you want to say, Nishaea? Because this has been good.
Yeah, no, it's always good because we could just like go off on a million different conversations. But no, my last words are y'all sign up for the challenge because Karena is dope. So like just do it. And it's free. But the other thing with that is like sometimes, and I'm guilty of it, you sign up for challenges. If it's free, it's like by day 3, you start falling off or you missing a thing and you're like, oh, I'll watch the replay. You never watch it. No. Stay committed to it. If you're gonna do it, put it on your calendar, make it concrete. Like, nope, I have to be here at this time and I'm going to commit to doing it, because that's when we see the results and we start seeing like, wow, this is really valuable and I need to continue to get this support because of how well I've done just over these last 5 days. So y'all sign up and commit to doing it. Put it on your calendar now and just know that whatever time it is, like you're not doing anything else because you committed to doing this. And you'll see.
Y'all heard her. Y'all heard her. The Play Money coach has spoken. Y'all heard her. So, folks, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. We're going to let Nishaea go because she's got another call after this, and we don't want to hold her up. Although we could talk for a very long time, but we're not going to do that. Not tonight. So, Nishaea, thank you so very much, as usual, for chatting with me and just a really good conversation. Nothing scripted, just talking about anything and everything women business owned related. I love it. I absolutely love it. And much blessing to you in everything that you are doing in 2024. And I just also wanted to shout out, I took a couple of notes earlier. Nishaea is looking to work with financial wellness workshops. So if you have anything like that coming up, please reach out to her. Listen, I've seen some of her videos. Even though we're in different states, I've seen some of her stuff and she's legit. She is legit. Absolutely 100%. And she's also looking for, and if you're a corporation or a part of a corporation, if you are a decision maker in a corporation, reach out to her. Okay. If you need to bring some financial wellness workshops to your corporations, your organizations, whatever the case may be, where you need it, do that. And she's also opened up her one-to-one coaching. So y'all, no excuses in 2024. We coming for them next.
You know it.
So y'all, I will talk to y'all later. Nishaea, have a great one. And y'all keep on going being great. Bye, y'all.